Hello Tutors, it's Gav and welcome to another one of my videos. First of all, a thank you to a good marra of the channel, well for me as well as the channel, and that's Beetle. My marra Beetle heard me talking about my English Civil War project in 15mm, and he's been kind enough to put this in the post to me, and it's Brassey's History of Uniforms, English Civil War, and it's by Philip J.C. Elliott Wright. I'm not going to open it, one, because I couldn't get it. I've got Nugget in the room. I can't put my tripod up. So unfortunately, my little tripod won't get any views in. But highly recommended. It's full. The writer himself, this was written in 97, is a reenactor. Well, he was at the time. I don't know if he still is. And lots of reenactor photos in there, which is great. And lots of artwork like this in there as well. Obviously, the usual contemporary woodcut, art, artwork for want of a better word, and obviously loads of black and white photographs of different sword hilts, pistols, muskets, armour. So thoroughly recommended if you can get this book. Don't all ask Beetle, he can only do so much. So anyway, I'm going to turn this off for a second, get the little tripod set up, and we'll just have a look at a few test figures. Once again, Marra, thank you very much. You know that because we've already talked, but yeah, thank you. Hello, Tubesters, I'm back again. Right, don't expect a lot. Well, then again, if you're a long-standing subscriber to the channel, you won't. I've only done 4 figures. I wanted just to see how my reds were. What I've been trying to attempt to do with these, let's just move this out of the way so we get it to concentrate, is give the reds just some slightly different reds by using different shadow colours and the main highlight. So the mid-tones are roughly the same, which in this case is wine red from AK. I can't give you the highlights only because I'm literally mixing them up with whatever I've got on the palette. And I do that a lot with the 28mm as well, and it just gives you a variation of colours. These guys I've given a couple of different, I don't know if they're called trousers, but whatever, we'll call them trousers, and there's different socks. These can be canvas or leather on the backs. The book I've just mentioned was showing mainly canvas, but the one I'm reading at the moment is saying more leather, so as usual, take your pick. So I've tried to do a bit of either. I'll show them 2 musketeers I've painted because I just wanted to mention how I've done the reds, because these guys, the next 2 are all in red, and I just thought it might be an idea if anybody's interested in doing the 15mm figures but think they might be a bit too small for you, just a way of painting them, so just bear with me. Oh, and I should have said I went with the flexible bristles off a brush that Simon puts in with his guys. Now, I was wary that the paint wouldn't, if they were hit too much, the paint wouldn't or crack off them. But because I've used Vallejo's surface primer, which is has like a latex plasticizer in it, I don't think it will be too much of a problem. So I've left the pike on. So I've stuck them all on as the bristles, mainly because I still hadn't sent off the metal ones. I wanted to get on with it, and I thought, well, let's give these a go. They're part of what when you buy the figures, they come with them. So let's not, why not use them? So just stuck on with super glue. So sorry about that. I meant to say that. Right, here's our. Let's see if we can just get in a bit closer. Here's our couple of musketeers. You probably can't tell, and to be honest with you, at 15mm, and when they are down on the tabletop, there isn't that much of a difference. You can slightly see maybe this one's a warmer red to a colder red on this one. So, like on this guy here, I've used Cavalry Brown, which, as you know, is that like ready brown that you can get from Vallejo, and I've used dark magenta on this guy on the left in the shadow areas. So if you can see the crotch, around the arms, anywhere there's a deep shadow really. On the Monteros, I can still pronounce that yet, no many times I've read it. Yeah, anywhere like that. So what I do is I've let's join these guys. I'm not going to obviously paint any under camera, but I've put these in this ghost grey, this United States Navy ghost grey from Vallejo. But any light colour like that would do. White, sky grey, I suppose, maybe a bit dark. I don't know. So you can see what you're doing for a start. Obviously, the drawback, as they always say, with doing a light primer is if any shows through, 15mm, if it did show through, you're really going to see it? Probably not. They look nice on Gav's photographs when I can take a good photograph, but yeah, they're not going to, you're not going to really see them. So I personally, I'd go a light primer of some description. This has had 2 coats of the ghost grey on because it tends to need 2 coats, and plus I'm brush primer in it. I'm not using my normal lacquer because I couldn't get to the airbrush. What I do is then, so get my darkest colour, which would be, it can be dark magenta, it can be, say, that cavalry brown, it can be just a dark red, or dark red with a bit of black in it. Just put it in your any deep shadow areas that you can see on the figure, and then leave the mid-tone out. Mid-tone being like your mid color. Then go straight to your I won't say your last highlight, but just go to a highlight. All the high points that you can see on the figure where you think the light's hitting it. Really, I'm not going into zenithal and all this. These are 15mm wargaming figures. We're not after a masterclass in how to paint an artistic figure. I'm just showing you that you don't always have to use contrast paints now if you don't want to, which I've got a few from Vallejo. I use them sparingly. I just prefer using my own paints. I just water the colours down, thin them down, in other words, and if I need to put thinner paint on. So darkest in your darkest areas. Then get your lightest highlight, put it, I'm just saying on the top of the chest there, I can see it under the light. 'Cause it always helps to hold them under your painting lamp, and that'll give you, yes, all right, if he's down here, there'll be more shadow areas, but, I'm doing this for the camera for you guys. But just find out, like on the top of that knee there, that's going to be a nice shiny place, isn't it? Light's going to hit that. We'll just hit this guy's back for a way. So, down where his jacket almost ends, that would be a shiny area, so or lighted area. So we'll put some highlight on that. Then get your mid-tone. In this case, we'll just use wine red. It's a fairly dark red, and once we put our light on, which would be, if we're going to go for using the cavalry brown method, which was the guy on the right here, you would have then got something like vermilion, something like that. You could use scarlet if you wanted to, and put that as your highlight. Then put your wine red again, which is like a darkish red, a medium red. Put that in all the other places you haven't put any more red paint yet. Once all dry, obviously go and paint other figures while you're doing it, or use a hairdryer, and then use. In this case, I've just put a tiny bit of orange, a tiny bit of yellow in the paint, which would have been the vermilion, and I then put it on as a very, very last highlight in certain places, and you'll cover the figure really quickly. These guys, to show you, these guys are a work in progress. Let's see, he's our commanding officer with a pikeman on his one. So I painted the pipe mainly so I can see it, because handling it, I'm always knocking. Although the one good thing about these guys are they are flexible. Yeah, as you can see, he's quite a really magenta dark, like a colder red, and that's what I wanted. And I also, because I've got 2 lots of paint going on, so I did the musketeer in the same way. These aren't completely finished yet, but as in the reds aren't completely finished yet, but the Morris there and the two pikemen, which have got warmer reds on, they're not, they're not finished yet. I just want to show you though how quick you can change, have a few different colours rather than just right out the pot, dark blue, light blue, whatever. You can just change the hues of the paint, so it just gives you that different look to your figures, hopefully. And again, I know they're 15mm, and if they're on a war games table, are you going to see them? Probably not. It's just me, the painter. But if anybody's interested, that's what I do. If anybody really needs to see it, and you do, just put it down in the comments, and I'll try and. It won't be a full-on tutorial. It'll just be this is how I put those reds on after what I've just said. So yeah, there we go. Different hair colours just to mix them up a bit. But really lovely little figures. These are the cuffs have been turned back on these. Are not like the cuffs of later periods where they'd be a regimental look to them. It's just where they've moved them back. Now the one thing I didn't do on this guy, and I did and ah about it, was did I give him gauntlets, which obviously a lot of pikemen wore, although these are all unarmoured. And I kept saying to myself, well, at the moment I'm just having them walking along. Would they always have their gauntlets on? And I looked at some reenactors' photos, and some had them on in a casual pose, some didn't. So I'm doing a mix. So this guy, he's got just bare hands. One of the guys I've just shown, he's got bare hands, but the other guy's going to have gauntlets on, and I'll throw a few more gauntlets in as we go. So some of the trousers I wanted just to mix it up and put a couple of different trouser colours in, mainly blacks and greys really. Maybe do a blue, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'll just really lovely little figures. These I'm glad I saw little Lance's come along with these videos. He's just put another one up of some really nice painted figures. Should you want to go and check him out. But yeah, I just fancy doing some different colours. Some different hues really, just to show different dyes being used and things like that. And then I used Tire Rubber Black from AK, which is like a dark brown black. I water it down quite heavily, and then I put it into some areas like under the shirt, under the collar, around some of the cross belts and stuff like that, just to put a bit of shadow in some of the areas, make them stand out, ever so slightly. So yeah, anyway, that's what I wanted to just shout out really, and just say I've decided this is going to be, these guys are being red. No historical, I'm not even sure, I've got an idea which regiment I wanted to do, which has got no, there's nothing saying what colours they were flying, as in the colours, because they were red coats, it didn't necessarily mean the colours and were red. And bearing in mind that they'd have multiple colours flying for the different captains of the different companies, plus the major, the obviously lieutenant colonel, the colonel. Yeah, I just I thought, no, I'll put these in red, and we'll work it from there. So look after yourself. Thanks for stopping by and taking a look. I hope all is well with you. Again, these are metal figures. They're 15mm, and they are from Steel Fist Miniatures here in the UK. Look after yourselves. Thanks for stopping by and taking a look, and we'll catch each other soon on another video.